We are going to make a scrap fabric pumpkin today, and you can go sort of two ways with this. Just an autumnal decoration, which I'm going to kind of do, or you could go spooky Halloween if you wanted. I've picked out all my orange fabrics. Most of these are like swatches. Some are a bit more orange than others. So we're just gonna try and decide which ones we're gonna use. I've got a template here which is almost 15, it's about 14.5 centimeters long. You will also lose a little bit of that for seam allowance. It's not massive. This is something you could scale up or scale down. So I think I'm going to have a bit of that. I think the felt is a bit too bright. Might work. I'm going to have that one. Ooh, that's nice. This is kind of almost furry, velvety. They're all quite heavy weight, so I'm going to choose ones that are similar in weight. I'm going to do that. And you need 5 pieces. So I think I'm going to use these 4. I'm going to have 2 of this nice deep orange, and I'm going to decorate those with some embroidery, and then I'm going to leave these patterned as they are. That's got a bit of a stain on it. What should we use instead? Maybe there, so it's quite orange. So we need to cut these out. I have done a template. This is not something you can really freehand because you need them the same size, otherwise they won't all sew together nicely. So I've done a little cardboard template from some food packaging at home. So let's cut some out. Let's get I have my lovely pieces and they are looking nice together. So what I think I'm going to do is start with my embroidery patterns. Now when the pumpkin is sewn together, I think I'm going to do sort of a stitch up the center that kind of pulls it in, so it's less of a ball and more of that sort of pumpkin shape. So I am going to do some embroidery. I've got a nice green wool here, but I think I'm just going to go up the sides and try and imagine that there's something in the middle. I need to find the right needle for this stuff. And I think maybe fly stitch, sort of like leaves almost. I also have a nice orange as well, which we could put a little bit of detail in on the orange, but I think just a little bit of green stitching to add interest to these panels. So I've got a needle. It's not a massive head, and the wool is very soft, so it will just go in, but I needed a needle threader. Right, let me try and remember which way up I need to start. I'm going to need to leave a little bit of space for the seam. I want it in a slight curve, probably not too much. This is quite thick upholstery cloth, so it's not the easiest thing to sew through. Oops, didn't knot it. Okay, so I might have to experiment a little bit with the size. We want them quite small, but I think I want them sort of joining up, going down, so we're going to do a larger securing stitch. Up here. Okay. Now slightly angle it. It might be a bit big. It's okay, but I may actually do another stitch in between because I kind of want them joined up, I think. Let's carry on for now. Here are my two segments of the pumpkin, wonder what to call it then, that I have embroidered. You could put a little bit more detail on there, but I think that looks quite nice. Now the complicated thing is sewing them together, and if you have a sewing machine, if you use a sewing machine, then it's probably quite easy to zip these together, but obviously I'm doing hand sewing, and you must put the right side to right side. Obviously it's going to be a little bit fiddly. I'm going to just start with these two, and I think I'm just going to do a simple running stitch. I don't want to lose too much of the edging. I'm going to sew all 5 pieces together, but then leave a little bit of one of them not sewed together, so we can stuff it, which I do like doing, stuffing things. You can see I'm getting quite close to the embroidery there, but I think it'll be okay. So let's open it up. Yeah, that looks quite cute. A very bit close to the edge there, but I think it'll be alright when it's stuffed. And you could use the same template actually to make like a giant pincushion, which I might do at a later date. So let's carry on sewing them all together. So I have my little pumpkin all sewn together apart from one edge. So we're going to turn it inside out. It's a little bit loose at the top, so I might have to do some extra sewing there. It's going to be good. And I realised what it needs at the top is a stalk. So I've got this nice velvet here, which I'm just going to like fold over into a tube and make that. That'll probably go on last thing. And I've got a button. Couldn't really find an orange one, but yellow goes okay to make a nice bottom there as well. So now we're going to try and stuff it and see what it looks like. It's got a really nice sort of heavy textured feel to it because it is upholstery fabric. It's a heavy duty pumpkin. I think we can have a little bit more in there. Right, so we're going to split each segment into another segment, which I think will look good. So first I want to try and get that button on. Then we will sew up the sides and put a stalk on. Actually, then we might sew up the sides and do the segmenting. I was going to try and use this wool. I'm not sure it's going to be strong enough because I really want to pull it in. So we'll try and we will see. Okay, now let's give it a go. There, that's the sort of effect I was going for. Might even need some more stuffing in. There may well be an easier way of doing this. When I get to the end, we'll probably try and see if there was an easier way. A little bit of over cast stitch, I think it is. And I'm just folding it in a little bit as well. So it's almost like it had a hem. Alright, we're going to sew it and hopefully I'll be able to turn it inside out, although it will be a little bit tricky. Because it's only small. If you made it a tube, you might be able to stuff it as well. Okay, let's see if we can turn it inside out with a bit of prodding and poking. Tiny bit of padding so it's not completely flat. Let's see if we can get a bit in. Maybe not. So soft. Quite bad at always leaving tails on my thread. That's why I get in a muddle. Okay. Okay, this is going to be awkward, so I'm sorry if you don't get a good angle. I'm basically going to do what I've got to do to close the hole and put the stalk in. Okay. Okay, little bit of wrestling going on, but that is my finished pumpkin. Scrap fabric, a little bit of enjoyable slow stitching, and if you wanted to do Halloween themed, instead of the sort of slow stitching here, I would probably do a plain one and then do felt sort of scary face on it. But I think that's quite a good way to use up some of your scrap fabrics, and quite cute.